Thanks, Raz. That's so nice of you to say. Shadow starting today to the surprise of none, I will say, yesterday. Beichuan had a rough intro to Worlds yesterday, and now it is up to the previously EU jungler to show us what he's got. Now for Fnatic on the other side, you see already Yunara's banned, the Jarvan gone. The Kiana today has put on a good show. Oh, let's be real.
Oh, yeah.
What a fun pick as well. Glad it's in the meta, but for this game, it's going to take a break as Orianna gets selected first.
Wow, so Fnatic choosing to hand over the Orianna. That's a scary thing. I mean, Knight is, he has his champions, that's for sure, throughout his career, but when we look back at some of his most played, Orianna is definitely up there, and as someone who can be very lane dominant, we'll see how things pan out. We expect Poby to go more towards something like the Talia. Galio is something we've seen come through from him a couple times in this matchup. He does struggle in the early laning phase, but ooh, I'm quite surprised to see the Aurora. This is, of course, flexible, as we've seen it come out into the top side as well from Oscar a few times. We'll see if they keep it as a flex option as we continue, but for now, jungle has to be the lock-in. We're going to get Razork's Vi once again. It didn't have a super impactful performance yesterday. The AD did bring up the rough draft that we saw from Fnatic yesterday, where it did feel like that their cohesion wasn't really there, and especially once they saw the Scion to then lock in the Ezreal was quite a surprise.
They didn't give themselves many options. I can agree with that wholeheartedly. And again, that Scion is up and available for Bin this time, if he so chooses. First, though, we get an early Xayah, but when you see a Vi, when you see a lot of all-in burst, like, why not lock in a Xayah Rakan for Elkanon?
Yeah, I wonder if they're going to go for the Kai'Sa now, if Fnatic is just going to fully commit to this dive-style approach. You can still fully commit onto champions like the Orianna, but Xayah is a super good champion into heavy dive. Aurora should be able to still punish or complement the Vi at the very least.
We're back to this.
Caitlyn. I don't like Caitlyn Vi. Like, maybe it's just a personal thing, but inherently, I just feel like that the champions want to do two different things.
Yeah.
I feel like that Caitlyn wants a safe front line that she can play around and leverage her range, whereas Vi wants to close that range gap as quickly as possible and wants to lock someone down. Now, there are still nice combos, right? Vi ultimate, put the Caitlyn trap underneath, you get the headshot guarantee, you can do a lot of damage, right? There is that possibility, but ultimately, we'll see how things pan out as we get through the rest of the draft. Moving into the second phase of bans, junglers are going to be the target. Nocturne going to be removed from the side of Fnatic. I wonder if Jarvan is also going to join alongside that, or if instead the Xin Zhao may make its appearance once again.
Xin has been mega popular. We kind of know our junglers now as well. A lot of these skirmish-heavy, characters have been played consistently over and over. And we haven't had as many tank junglers so far. But so far, there is no tank in BLG. There's no tank in Fnatic either.
Oh, they're banning top laners out. Okay.
They're assuming that that is going to be an Aurora mid for Poby.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that we didn't see something like an Alistair banned.
True.
I'm also thinking about Karma as a possibility for Fnatic. Renata is a possibility for Mikyx. They may even do like Blitzcrank.
Yeah.
I like Blitzcrank Caitlyn as a combo a lot.
I know we're getting Morgana in solo lanes. I'm just going to throw it out there.
Ooh, I mean, I'm a big Morgana enthusiast.
But in support, it hasn't really risen much. More so the wave clear was there. Scion is gone. That might help Fnatic from the PTSD of yesterday.
Well, we're expecting a support pick to come through. Ooh, Hysterics with the prediction.
Hey. Not often right, but when I am, it's
today.
Today!
It's a Morgana.
Oh,
okay.
Man, the analyst desk gave me a look.
I mean, so I love Morgana as a champion. I think that she's really strong after the buffs that she's been getting. Traditionally, though, we've been seeing her mid kind of around the world, not really in support, as you highlighted.
So it could be a mid Morgana.
But this is like very old school.
Yep.
Like Caitlyn Lux, Caitlyn Morgana, like back in the day, back when we were young and had a good time playing League.
that doesn't happen anymore.
But it's a very scary combo because the amount of chain CC that's available is very effective. But the Black Shield against Rakan as well, like it provides a lot of protection for the Caitlyn. And also, let's say a Renekton jumps on top of you, he can't break the shield.
Yeah, he can't.
Because he's not going to do any magic damage.
It's also very linear, right? If the Renekton can't dash through you with a slice and dice. Like, you just press Q and walk away.
I really think it's a pretty good Morgana angle, and it also pairs nicely with the Vi. But Naafiri, going to be a strong skirmish jungler.
Ball delivery as well.
And it looks like the Poppy top for Oscar. Now, for those that remember his last international appearance, this was a champion that we kind of believed in him for. Like, he had strong performances on it. It's a very safe champion. It does very well into the dashes. So again, against the Rakan, against Naafiri, against Renekton, it can be super effective. Early matchup, you're probably going to struggle against Renekton, as many top laners do. But I think I prefer this draft a little bit more from what we've been seeing compared to what we saw yesterday from Fnatic. Well, it doesn't change to the fact that BLG is still BLG, right? While yesterday they didn't start their footing off in a super convincing way, Xayah Rakan is a very easy bot lane to play through. They have a strong mid game, especially with Xayah Orianna, with good team fighting, and ultimately that is what this is going to come down to. Fnatic have demonstrated before that their coordination in the fights is not the strongest, whereas for BLG, we know that when push comes to shove, they have the talent to be the best in the world, given that they did, of course, win the LPL.
And maybe this overview, maybe this look at Shadow and seeing a new jungler in will give good insight into BLG, because yesterday was not it, and it felt like it was a wall that was crumbling down. It really started with Beichuan and Bin, you know, the Rek'Sai, the egregious play in front of turret, and then dropped down, and then Knight was affected, and then Elkanon couldn't do too much with that at least support that he was so well known for, had such a high win rate. Now lowered to 9-2, but today's a different day. Today's a much different day for BLG.
It's been a good day for the LPL, all things considered.
It's been a good day for League of Legends.
They round out with another win. LPL going 3-0 on the day would definitely be a good way to round things out. Let's see, as Fnatic, we are expecting BLG to be the favorites coming into this matchup. But if Fnatic can get a win here, my goodness, that would be quite the upset indeed.
It would put BLG at 0-2.
I mean, also, okay, the third seed from the LTA and the third seed of the LEC,
they shook hands.
To lose to both of them, that would be quite the shocker.
I think the West would have a lot to lean on after today, you know? And the LEC faithful, especially when there was a domestic rivalry that put MCOY to 0-2. Who's going to join them? Let's begin. Now, we already talked a little bit about the draft coming into this, and especially with that Morgana making its debut at Worlds. For Mikyx especially, I feel like Mickey's been great on engages, but also sometimes just very out of place. This one requires a little bit more finesse.
Oh, it certainly does.
Ward taken. Okay. GG. 10 gold.
Starting with the Q. We'll spot them out. Here we go. There's the roots.
Binding does connect. Elk takes the brunt of upset damage.
So there's good news and bad news about Morgana, right?
That's it.
Once the Q lands, oh, scary. When you don't have Q anymore, not scary. Yeah.
She might press W. She might put a puddle down.
Yeah. So in the laning phase, but when you do, honestly, generally it's the. In lane with Morgana, I often expect the threat of the binding to be bigger than the actual binding, but that's the binding.
It's another one. Upset has the damage as well. On has to heal up. Maybe there's going to be a flash out. Matched up. Upset's there. The range just out. Tilt over pacemaker, not going to connect. And dark binding this time is why.
So close, but now that's all. Well, the barrier is still up. The jungler's going to come for an early gank. Shadow's on his way.
Oh no, with the wave as well. Upset just wants to get the push in. He's doing it as slowly as he can. I'm looking at the EXP bar. It's nowhere near 3. The jungle pet not spotted out in the end. The trap's down. Here comes Shadow for his debut at Worlds. He's got a good angle. The black shield's there, but Elka's already matched the flash even at level 1. The damage should be enough in a 3 versus 2. First blood over to BLG. They're going to make it double. Fnatic's bot lane in major trouble.
Oh my goodness. Shadow punishes. He did a 2-camp clear into bot lane gank, and it was a good play. Upset and Mikyx used all of their summoner spells. Upset did have the barrier, but it was not going to be enough to help him get out of that situation. They didn't invest a ward into the tri-brush. They didn't respect the possibility of an early gank. This was a super aggressive play from On that absolutely gets punished. The binding comes through from Mikyx. They get a ton of damage down, but On pops a pot. And this early pot does so much work because, look, it takes him out of kill range, walks upwards to sidestep the Q, and then Upset's now in a position underneath the tower where the lane is too long. He can't get away to safety. Mikyx quickly drops after, and Elk gets 2 kills.
On this Xayah as well. Oh my god. Oh my god, said Upset. Yep, Europe said that too, sir. After what was a very promising start, there is still a CS lead in this lane as On and Mikyx are both looking for the roam. Maybe the pick off as well. Over the wall, it's cheeky. On doesn't see them. A ward spotted over the wall, though. That's what gives it away. On plays with fire.
Okay, well, the good news for Fnatic is Razork got a lot from...
It's back again. Flashes, matches, it connects. We've seen a lot of Vimir's Qs, but that one won't miss. Neither will Mikyx. Elk cleanses away now. No summoners for the Xayah.
So they commit the flash from Razork to make that play happen. He's going to have to path back towards the top side of the map, though. Shadow continuing to clear through his jungle. Elk is very low, but he can't afford to lose out on this wave.
True.
He's still in a healthy gold position, as you highlighted earlier, but I don't think Fnatic can really do much off the back of this. Binding.
Down. Yeah, just out of range.
Now that that's gone, though, Fnatic don't really have much to be... Sorry, Elk doesn't really have much to be afraid of. The traps will come through to help try and zone them away. Okay, the poke is quite good.
Yeah, it is good. And despite the double kill earlier, even though Elk has a gold lead here, this lane is still going to be egregiously bad for the Xayah Rakan. Shadow now hovering around Krugs, trying to get something done, maybe get a position in this lane. There is a control ward in Pixel Brush, but for BLG, they need all the help they can get getting Elkin on to a position of power.
Mikyx is just burning through his mana. Generally, again, the idea is that you kind of hold the Q to dissuade any aggression from the BLG bot lane, but he's just throwing that stuff on cooldown.
He's out of mana now.
Yeah, if it lands, it lands. Great. But I mean, hey, it's working now. Look at Shadow once again. He's found a path.
Oh, and the root as well. Mikyx misses the Dark Binding. The threat is down. He's lucky to get out of there. On did
Shadow, he's coming from behind. Fnatic don't see this play.
Knew the Pixel Brush was there once again. This gank might head a little bit more. Shadow goes invulnerable. Mikyx misses the binding, and he's just going to die. This time, Shadow picks up on the gold, and BLG with a 3-0 start.
I mean, they're not respecting Shadow's pathing whatsoever. Yike is going to be in the area.
He's coming in, misses onto on. Thought he'd step forward a little bit more, and now Razork, his path has given up.
I mean, credit to Shadow. He is just punishing this hyper-aggression from the Fnatic bot lane 2 versus 2. Domestically, junglers do not punish this bot lane like we're seeing right now.
True.
And Shadow is just, yeah, he's just happily picking up kill after kill. Well played by him. He's been building up a bit of a lead for himself on the top side of the map, but that is all blue on the bottom of your screen as BLG are finding advantages across the rift.
The one lane we haven't talked about is just chilling here in mid. And for Knight, he's going to have push to enable the Dragon, while Razork picking up this scuttle will give them a little bit more insight into when that Dragon could potentially be started. But remember, Shadow, can just jump over the wall and pick that up silently, while Razork now level 6. Guess where he's going? Guess where he lives? We have his address, it's bot.
Yeah, look, let's see if Fnatic can finally get something back. They really want to find a pick onto Elk.
Got wave. We'll clear the wave.
Wave clear. Here we go, Razork.
Okay, Elk does have flash available yet again. Level 5, so he doesn't have the ulti to escape. With the black shield on top as well, Elk is trying to path it out, but what a binding from Mikyx. A shutdown, an upset now finally on the board in this lane.
A much needed shutdown. Fnatic needed to alleviate some of this pressure, get that kill onto Elk. And the gold gap now closed between the two AD carries.
And the wave in a good space as well for Razork to make gank number 4 happen. 7 minutes
see.
of the
He
game.
needs to clear out his top side of the map.
Well, he might get red, then come back.
Yes, I have a feeling that that will be his plan. But now BLG, they're starting to move some members around. They realize that the wave is in a bad spot in the bot lane. Oh, hang on a minute.
Okay, he's learned his lesson against turrets. You know, he's got a couple of minions there.
One would hope so. As the bot lane now find themselves in mid. So no scary Razork ganks in the near future, but this Orianna needs to be careful as Shadow has turned his attention towards the first dragon of the game. 1.1k still the gold lead in favor of BLG. Elk going to be able to help Shadow secure this early objective. And Knight has to be cautious, but he knows that his jungler's on the bot side of the rift. Pings have come down from Fnatic. They will know that this dragon is being secured. There's not really much that they can do about it.
Okay, well now information given over. Grubs have also spawned in this game just as of now. A nice engage here from On. The feathers are out, but just out of range is Poby. And Shadow makes his appearance as well. 3 members around mid, and after this push, it could be a double objective here for BLG, with Shadow moving straight there.
Oscar getting very low, threat of a dive. BLG going to convert one objective into the other. Fnatic have really committed their resource towards the bot side of the map, and I will say I think this is a bit of an over-investment. Fnatic are conceding so many early objectives here, and Shadow just punishing Fnatic's positioning on the map. Bin has a health advantage. If Razork can get one, that would be ideal.
Shadow sticks around, he wants to steal. Dark Binding sends him out though, and it's going to be a double grub here for Razork.
Okay, not the end of the world then.
Good rotation.
Ultimately will not be the worst case scenario. I was worried for Fnatic that they were going to lose the grubs and the dragon, but they do end up getting something back at the very least. Caitlyn going to stay in the bot side of the map. I imagine that they're going to bring this swap out soon, and yeah, we can see Poby already making his way towards the bottom lane. This mid wave likely going to lose some farm towards the tower, but it is a cannon wave. Going to make his way over, but yeah, timing-wise, a little bit late there from Upset. So a lot of this wave is going to disappear. Mikyx likely going to be forced to pick that one up.
Wasn't able to get collected, by the way, if you want to look at the items. It's Serrated Dirk and Pickaxe, so just a little bit off. Mikyx's the one who's going to absorb the rest of this wave, and so for experience here for the Morgana, getting closer towards 6 to all those soul shackles, that is just another layering of CC for the champion. As Upset now moves towards mid. No objectives up for a little while, we're just going to farm it out, and Upset now is the only one looking red with his gold lead, thanks to that shutdown before.
So a lot of the gold advantage that BLG have built for themselves on the top side of the map.
Black shield.
Yeah, Root not going to be able to connect. Mikyx loses a lot of his HP though. Both junglers hovering around the middle lane. Razork going to be spotted on a wards as both mid lane is actually trading back and forth in the river. Looks like Poby getting the short end of the trade a little bit, but he's going to turn his attention to mids. I'd be surprised if they convert this into any real play. Poby needs to go and catch that bot wave. Not really much on the map for either team to play for right now. It is these early plates. There's a possibility of a rotation into a bot lane dive, perhaps. Shadow has just got back to base as well.
See Knight's playing cautious though. He knows Razork not on a ward for now, but there are some BLG pings going down as Poby's moving back and forth from that tri-brush. Knight steps up anyway, and maybe he didn't know enough. Into the wall, just shy is Razork. Shockwave brings him back, but just to let him know. Dissonance, good damage as well. Knight still stepping up in a 1v2. He's now got Shadow to make it equal odds.
The threat of the roam from On as well to increase the numbers. Mikyx did take over to level 6. On still ways away from that. And On, once again, on the move.
Good one.
Shadow looking to try and get a collapse onto Poby. Maybe if he goes for a deep base, but not going to be spotted. Look at this vision control that BLG have on this bot side of the jungle. Clearly providing that protection for Knight to be able to push in the side lane. Now remember that Fnatic do still have a lot of dive threat, and so by going for this Rod of Ages on Knight, gives him that extra bit of HP, a little bit more survivability. Does mean that the damage is going to come through from him a little bit later into the game though. Meanwhile, Bin has just been, I mean, he's been dominating in this 1v1, quite frankly. He has a 20 CS lead. He's secured 3 plates for himself. Oscar really hasn't been able to do very much.
Remember, Steadfast Presence, long cooldown. Slice and Dice, not so much. So even if there's an interaction there, Renekton's going to have his cooldowns much sooner. So 20 CS lead, 600 gold. Been close to getting this Black Cleaver or Stride Breaker pending.
Here's the thing about the solo laners for BLG as well. So you've got Bin winning out in this top lane 1v1, right? Doing a lot of tower damage, but also in the bot lane. Now that Rod of Ages has been completed, Poby just doesn't have the burst threat that he had before, which means that Knight can now just trade way more aggressively, because every time you do trade, you're likely just going to have a health advantage, which means that he constantly has push on the bot side of the map as well. Elk is, with his fast wave clear, getting that advantage at mid, and so basically you have a situation where BLG have 3 pushing waves, and they have full control over the river, and they always get to collapse onto these objectives first. So Fnatic, a lot of the responsibility falls on Razork to find a way to get a creative gank, but the deep vision that we're constantly seeing from BLG makes it even harder for him. So BLG have a firm lock on the game right now, and Fnatic don't have an easy way of breaking it.
You see Razork's trying to break it as he Vault Breakers out. That's the turn, that's the moment from BLG. Shadow's already used W, but he won't need its Soul Shackles to lock down the dog with a Dark Binding that misses. BLG are safe, and Mikyx almost dies.
Looked like Mikyx tried to pass on to connect onto Shadow to set up for a trap play, but it doesn't actually connect onto either one of them. Dragon now alive. Bot laner On has to go back to base. Dragon going to be started. I don't think this is an easy start though, as Elk gets to collapse first. Look at the positioning of Knight.
Bin also has TP. Fnatic won't have numbers here if the Croc joins in. Mikyx is almost dead as well. This Dragon start looks risky. You said it, Vedi. BLG now have 4 members. Bin's moved into Fog of War, and Fnatic have to back off.
Yeah, I don't really see how Fnatic would have an easy objective secure, especially given the HP that Oscar had. Nice headshot onto Elk. Good damage coming through from Upset.
Traps are coming out as well. Elk feathers almost flying into Upset's face, but he sidesteps and back to mid-wave. We're going to farm for a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, BLG, I think, doing the correct play. They know their laners have an advantage. They know, like, that top tower is just going to fall soon. Just from being in isolation, winning out in the 1v1. He's built an 800 gold lead by himself from tower plates and CS leads. Meanwhile, the mid lane matchup still in favor of Knight. Similar situation in terms of the plates. Now that the plates have fallen off, that tower is going to fall like paper. BLG just getting the better of Fnatic individually right now. And with these gold leads, they're going to come into these mid-game fights just with more items in a stronger position. And I fear that Fnatic are going to be limited in terms of what they can do. It's all going to come down to this target selection. Because remember, when this Vi dives in, who is your target? Knight, I suppose, but do you have the damage needed to actually kill Knight, especially by going for this more HP build?
I feel like it's going to rely a lot on Upset here. It does feel like this Caitlyn, with the pairing with this Vi, how they work in tandem is going to be so important for this game. Now, Herald is coming up in 15 seconds. Speak of important, it is BLG again that have held that strength of vision throughout the game, now in the most appropriate spot, which is top lane. Control wards galore, nothing from Fnatic that isn't defensive. And it's just consistent farm for this Xayah as well to try and get her second item, to try and get up there and become that hyper carry. As you said, it is such a stranglehold, and Coinbase Gold Grind is going to show you exactly what we're talking about with a top comparison of 900 to gold lead, and of Herald starting, that is going to escalate this gold further.
Yeah, the problem is I think Fnatic just isn't strong enough to fight. Good damage onto Elk.
It is good engage as well. You asked about Razork. Elk not going to stand still for long though, because Dark Binding was out of range. The trap as well. Elk flashes in for the root, and it sets up Shadow for the reset. Now onto another. Upset thinks he's safe. Not for long. Under a turret in with the Dark Binding. Spin has joined in, and Mikyx up next. BLG recovering from their sins of day one.
The collapse from BLG was so fast that Fnatic couldn't respond in kind. Poby didn't even bother teleporting to the mid lane play as he knew that things were already falling apart. Targeting Elk was a good response, but they just weren't quite fast enough to get the kill when they needed to. That bought time for Bin to arrive, threaten the dive on the tower. They get the summoners out from Upset. They're going to secure the objective on the Herald. And BLG snowballing this game out of control.
And it's so controlled at that as well. For BLG, that fight was supremacy. How clean this was, Vedi.
So we see the positioning on Elk. He steps up a little too far. Upset kind of baiting it out as he gets good damage down. Flash in from Razork. The trap's not quite in range. The binding doesn't quite connect. It hits on instead. And then Elk flashes in here. It does set up for the play, but it does allow for Upset to return. Responding kind, there's the shockwave combo that comes through. Knight flashes in, Bin flashes in. They get 3 kills off the back of it, 2 of them going in the hands of Shadow, and they get the Rift Herald too. Firm control really from start to where we're at now from BLG. And it's really just been a game of constantly punishing Fnatic.
Feels very much like slow, steady League of Legends. The BLG yesterday, a bit of a lynching to put them back in place. Elk is hit, Upset got the heal on him, but Shadow once again looking for a dive. It's turned by Razork, but with the quickness from On, he's got targets. Black Shield already used by Upset as he put the trap down. On close to dying, but Shadow again gets a reset. No fear of diving in, but maybe he should be, as he gets denied by Oscarinin. It's a shutdown over to Upset. Fnatic have breathing room. A 1-for-1 in the play, and all stand still in the mid lane.
I mean, On was CC'd for so long, yet it's Mikyx that ends up dying on the back line. This Morgana is so squishy and such easy pickings for Shadow. The good news really is that so much gold got funneled into Upset after he picked up that shutdown, but he's the only bright spark on the bottom of your screen for Fnatic. When you kind of look at the gold differences, a 1.3k gold lead for Bin is he's really making his presence known on the red.
It's just an isolation. He's playing PvE. And Oscarinin sometimes there. It's only a 20 CS lead, but all those plates is on. In River, going to find Razork. There's an exhaust, and because of that, Razork thinks I'll go again. Steals a flower on the way out. Dragon's also up in 10 seconds. On with a bit of a tag on his health bar. Might mean something, but again, BLG are so strong here in this early game that Vedi, I think, every fight right now, Fnatic have to pull with caution.
Oh, absolutely. Mickey, even if he does land the bind, here we go.
The Shadow, Oscar jumps in. That E onto the dog, not going to be used too well, but for Shadow, he gets low. Now they found Knight. Up the Shadow, disengages. It's a good engage as Oscar sends him away. Bad puppy. Knight has to run for it as well as with that one pick, Dragon is now open for Fnatic.
Top wave is pushed in for BLG, so a decent amount of farm is likely going to be lost there. You'll notice the Bin making a beeline towards it. Oh, he's turning his attention back to mid lane as they drop the Herald. I like this response from BLG. They'll happily concede this as they can put pressure onto the tier 2 tower as well. Fnatic trying to take a shortcut through. Looks like they will protect their tier 2 tower. But BLG, for the first time in this game, conceding an objective.
Only to take something else on the other side of the map. It's Raptors, it's mid. It was still the better gold play. It was a Chemtech Dragon that Fnatic stopped the stacking here, but reminder, with Stridebreaker picked up first with a 2-item Naafiri now with Spirit Shogun. What a much better improvement, better performance, I should say, from BLG in this day 2, because yesterday was just not the team we saw climb their way up the LPL bracket, go through 4 best-of-5s, with 3 of them going to game 5 rather. Like, Bin looks in prime form too. Now moving up to 2,000 just about, with the gold lead that he's accrued pretty much by himself.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, he's just made fun of Oscar in the top lane, but beating him out in the straight-up 1v1. He holds on to a 20 CS lead. He secured top lane in isolation. He's going to pick up bot lane as well. Now, I mean, there's good news and bad news for Fnatic. The good news is you could argue, oh, all of the gold is sitting on the top side of the map, which, as long as Oscar gets tanky enough, he can just mitigate, right, on this Poppy.
Yeah.
The bad news is this Renekton has a 1.8k gold lead. This Naafiri has a 1.6k gold lead.
That is bad news.
Yeah, that's quite bad news, especially when you look at the item differential. Black Cleavers finished for both top and jungle. And Rakan is being eyed up by both sides. Mid wave going to be pushed in by BLG once again. Bot wave going to be caught, and Fnatic kind of forced into these choke points if they want to contest.
The trap placement is nice, but Shadow just jumps over the wall, ignores them completely, and now Shadow can jump back over himself. Still threaten Rakan. Keep this vision choke elongated that we've seen all game long. Fnatic scared about where to run into. They get this control ward, but the poke, the range is huge. Knight just takes none in return, able to walk it away, and with this wave, Vedi, Rakan still on the menu, and BLG very much proposing that they are going to start this. There's Razork, try brush, he's okay for now.
BLG are really limiting the options that Fnatic have in terms of their approach. The observer's just highlighting the vision that Fnatic have around this area. Fnatic are so uncomfortable. Poby and Upset spending so much time just sharing gold.
Shadow backed in front of them. Shadow did indeed back in front of them. Of course Fnatic are going to start. Shadow just backed in front of them at full vision. The only question is, do they have the damage?
Yeah, no, they don't. Fnatic is too afraid to start this objective off.
Shadow 5-head.
I mean, Knight is level 15, remember. On this Orianna, he wants to go back and buy himself an item.
Okay.
Elk is going to start this one off. The TP's coming through. Like, Fnatic basically spent all that time watching BLG set up around this objective. Knight gets an opportunity to go back to base, pick up the Horizon focus, start off the objective. Razork can't do anything.
He can't walk in on zones. Razork's out. And just because Elk ordered it, now down it goes.
TPing in. I mean, Fnatic. Oh, what is Oscar doing?
He's running in Vedi, and now he's running out. Okay.
I mean, the coordination from Fnatic is just, it's nowhere to be seen.
No.
BLG, their setup was perfect. They kept the push in mid, they collectively controlled the river, then converted that control into a bot wave push, that then suffocated Fnatic out of their vision, gave them no way to approach the objective, and then when Fnatic did have an opportunity to approach, take the gamble, force a fight with numbers advantage, knowing that the enemy jungler was base, they didn't take it, backed off, and BLG said, okay, and they took a completely uncontested Rakan, with which Fnatic then TP'd in response. They committed not 1, but 2.
Are you okay?
I have many opinions. To say the least, BLG right now is running rings around Fnatic.
I think they are too. I think it's been from the start of the game, and while I am impressed with BLG's recovery, I have to say.
But like, my point is, if you have 2 TPs, like, why not threaten a top tower instead? If you genuinely feel like you can't contest the Rakan, why are you spending all of that time just having like a summer holiday, watching the view from a distance, when you could instead be trading it for objectives elsewhere? They could have been pushing mid or top or anything.
It's literally the equivalent of going on holiday, going to a different country and sitting inside.
Hey, like, that's the Vedius special.
No, don't encourage that. Going out, seeing the sun, seeing all the...
My point is now, though, that, like, what options do they have? Because all that vision control that BLG had acquired, Fnatic didn't get anything back. They haven't gotten any towers. There's still no towers to their name. So with full vision control, with Dragon spawning in about 20 seconds, Fnatic need to find some pick in order to contest this objective.
Well, they're trying at the very least, and Razork's trying to lead it up, but problem is Mikyx's not landing any of these bindings, and even if they do, scared to go in. Considering with the gold gap, as Oscar here for a choke on, looking for the engage. Razork does miss, but he's zoning off, and there's Ace in the hole. It does hit Shadow, but with a redemption coming in, BLG nice and healthy again. And Bin's not even there, by the way. Fnatic trying to find a 5 versus 4, but even then, it's not easy. Does Dragon matter when Bin's going to get inner and BLG are moving up mid?
Yeah, I mean, BLG have just said, you know what, it's fine. You can have the numbers advantage. We'll allow you to take this Dragon. Instead, we'll control the mid wave. We'll control the top wave. Bin is level 16.
Poby just jumped in. He flashes away. Maybe he's getting sick of doing it. There's Between Worlds. Disengage from Oscar. A chance now with Elk sending up the feathers, but the shockwave is good. The root even better. Elk just needs to die, but BLG won't let their president down. Fnatic have 4 members mid, and 1 just hit the ground.
I mean, it looked quite promising for Fnatic, but the moment that Bin arrives, their options...
And the flash as well, the Black Shield's too late. Upset getting dove on, and Shadow's got a target now, a reset as well. Utter domination as the LEC's 3rd seed has bit the dust.
Mikyx did not react fast enough. He'll die to the bleed, and now it should be an easy Baron for BLG. 8K, the gold lead. Utter destruction from BLG. Bin with a beautiful flash onto Upset. And I mean, Fnatic have felt lifeless in this game.
What more do you say? This is one of our most dominant games. Just from the laning phase, I think this was one of our most dominant laning phases as Red Bull Baron power play begins. BLG from top to mid to bot. Sent a message.
I mean, they get the flash out from Upset early. Oh, from Poby, sorry. Then they turn their attention onto L. A good shockwave response from Knight makes it difficult for Fnatic to follow up. Bin arrives, they get that kill onto Oscar. And then here, Upset wants to step back up. Maybe he can use a headshot to chip away at HP. But Bin, he uses the first E on this minion wave. Flash, W, has the second E to follow up. The Black Shield was too late. Upset immediately flashes away. But Shadow is there on the back line to help secure that kill. BLG with fantastic execution once again. And now with the Baron, it feels like it's simply a matter of time.
It's almost cresting 10,000 gold. We've had a 19.8k gold win in difference. And we're about to see if this one gets any closer. Oscar's finally going to get Fnatic's first turret at 26 minutes in the game. But bot is an issue. Bot is a big issue. Oscar, come home. We miss you.
I mean, even if he's there, I don't think he's going to stop BLG. Bin is level 17.
But he is going to TP.
Here we go.
The last hurrah between worlds from Poby keeps him near, but BLG at full HP still as Poby stepped up and now about to get wept away. Elk is low, but the feathers are still out, even with a great Poppy ult. Bin comes from mid to send another message. The cease and desist, the dark binding. Can they kill this Renekton? Well, with Hysterics gauge, they're going to bloody well try, but he'll take Razork down with him. That's the Giga Bin we know. As Shadow uses this opportunity to enter the base, look for a reset, deliver the shockwave, and deliver LPL its hopes this day. Vedius, BLG, day one, that was just a spanner in the works. This is what you can expect from one of the best regions in the world as they send a message to EU to fear at 27.5 minutes into this game.
A convincing stomp from BLG as they play with their food. Upset may get a shutdown, but it is too little, too late as the LPL goes 3-0 here on day 2.
3-0 is a statement, and BLG looking like that is a complete far cry from what we saw in day 1. Their recovery is exceptional.
Dominant laning phases. It was looking quite good for Fnatic in the bottom lane, but Shadow making the difference. But you've heard enough from us, so let's send it over to the desk to get their thoughts on that game.